Good morning, happy BTF. I'm Austin Griffith. I want to talk about the DAOG. It's time to let the DAOG out. Decentralized Autonomous Organization game, right? Right? So it's like a DAO game. And what you do is a lot of people kind of vote on changing the rules along the way, trying to get to some victory condition. So let's just jump in and create a DAOG. Okay, so we're going to call this one Proof of Stake. Hat tip to Matt Condon on that one. I think he wrote like a whole white paper on Proof of Stake. It's fantastic. And we're all going to buy in. So I've got, I'm like airdropping people wallets with $5 worth of DAOG dollars. DAOG, I don't know, and some XDAI for gas. So if I have a dot, let's just buy in with a buck, right? Okay, so here's how we're going to do this. So a game starts with, so you can choose kind of these environments, and those environments are also just a smart contract. All of this stuff is just smart contracts that anybody can deploy and kind of plug in. So the first game we'll play is on the Greenfield smart contract, and it's sort of like this open-ended. It's just going to be like grass, I guess. Like it's just grass and it's tiles, and every game has a utility emoji, and we used emoji for all the game pieces, so anyone can get in and just add a new rule to the game by just adding a new emoji that's backed by some generic smart contract or completely custom smart contract. So the utility emoji is this little smiley face. So we're gonna do proof of stake, we're gonna do a dollar buy-in, and let's add some game mechanics. And what that means is actually we're going to have to deploy some contracts that we need if they're not already deployed, but there's quite a few. So we know that we're going to need an inventory mechanic for the smiley face, and we're going to build tents. So a tent is a buildable item. So the smiley face was an inventory item, the tent is a buildable item. So there's all these different items of different kind of mechanics, right? So the buildable item can be built on an empty square. It has an influence of 9. Man, I'm just hitting with all sorts of game nomenclature here, but influence is sort of how many squares you can see and control. So your influence is like your ability to you can interact with anything within your influence. And this is like massive multiplayer, so there's going to be other people, and your influences will sort of collide a little bit, and that will lead to war and whatever down the road. But influence of 9, so it costs 1. We'll just call it smiley face guy. We'll just call it population, right? That's gonna kind of represent population in our game. So it costs 1 population to build a tent, but then your tent will earn you it'll earn you 3 population every 6 blocks. Does that make sense? Okay, so it's kind of like we spend a little population and then it just starts generating population for us. All right, we'll add that. Okay, so now we're going to need to add a few other things. And let's see. So we're going to add, well, if it's going to be stake, we're going to need, so if you hit Control Command Space on a Mac, you get this cool emoji keyboard. And I can type in, oh, you can't see it. Let me move you over. Type in stake. We're going to bring in some stake. Boom. And that's going to be an inventory item. And then we will deploy some, let's see. So we're going to need it's going to probably have to be a buildable item for cows, right? What's a cow look like in this? I haven't even used, okay, so yeah, we'll turn cows into steak. So what is a cow built on? A cow is probably going to be built on some like grains or something, right? Oh, I'm gonna have to do this. There's one right up there, I can see it. This is gonna be a pretty complicated game. Let's see if I can copy that, bring it in. It has 0 influence. It will cost maybe 2 population to build the cow, and then the cow is going to generate some steak. Maybe it'll generate 1 every 2 blocks. I don't know. Just making this up, right? This is a very dynamic. We can make it up as we go. Okay, so we have to deploy a contract that says all these things, right? So we just deployed a buildable cow contract. Okay, and let's add a victory condition of stake. Let's say we have to have 2 stakes to win. No, let's just say 1 stake. This is a screencast. We gotta speed it up. Okay, So you'll notice that I didn't, we know that cows can be built on grains, but I didn't put any grains into the game yet, and that's kind of the fun of the game because we need to kind of have a victory condition we need to get to, and some starting rules, but then we can use the Moloch DAO, the governance layer, to kind of bring it in. Okay, let's just get started here and see how we do. So, victory condition is 1 stake. It's going to cost us $1 to buy in. Deploys the Moloch, deploys the DAOG, ritualistically sacrificing. This is out on XDAI. You'll notice those nice 5-second block times, nice cheap transaction costs. There we go. Okay, so now we can share this. Someone can shoot this QR code, drop in. There's a link here. Anybody can get in. It's completely open. They'll approve the game, they'll join the game, and they can get up here and they could be like, what? He's got steak, he's got cows. We can see that the victory condition is 1 steak. There's no growable items, there's no discoverable items. They can like click the cow and figure out like what the heck this thing is. We can see that, okay. Okay, so we're ready to join the game. It's gonna cost us $1 and we're gonna get 5 population out of it. Here we go. All right, and so the way the ready works is basically anybody in the game votes that they're ready, and then at least half, same mechanic as the Moloch, at least half of the people in the game need to say they're ready, and then it's legal to start the game. But we're just playing a little 1-player here, so no big deal. And you can get in and play 1-player anytime you want. Just go to DAOG.io and jump on. You probably don't have any tokens yet, but I'll figure out a way to get those kind of fauceted out. But, you know, just hit me up if you need some. All right, so here are those squares I was talking about. Basically, we can see some green squares. This is kind of fog of war out here. We can't see what's going on yet. All we can do right now is just follow this first call to action to build. And the only thing we can build, we can spend 1 population, we can build a tent. So here we go. We're building our first tent. There it is. Okay, so now our tent is going to be, what, generating some population for us, three every 6 blocks. So about once a minute, we're going to get to be able to pull 3 population from that. And population is our utility emoji, so we're using it to discover if we want to go discover lands, and we're also using it to participate within this governance layer. So let's just go ahead and click here and go discovering. Let's see what we find. Since there are no discoverable items, we're just going to find a field of green, right? And we can build more things here too, right? So let's put down another tent and really start generating that population. Okay, yep, and this guy's ready to collect. So now we're collecting, so you'll see our inventory go from 2 to 5 there. Okay, but we need to get us some steak to win this game, which means we need to get us some cattle, which means we need to figure out what this emoji right here, how we're going to find that. Let's just make it let's make it growable. Yeah, let's make it growable. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll put a proposal out to all the jabronis playing the game with us that everybody bought in, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, we're going to make this growable item that starts as a seedling, okay? And it's planted on an empty thing, and then in, say, 4 blocks, it grows into some grain, okay? And let's say it costs us 3 population to plant and take care of this grain, okay? Let's deploy that contract. Do-do-do-do-boo-boo-boo, it's Bow Tie Friday. All right, and let's see, what I need to have is, I think this will just work. I think I'm just going to go with this. Now you can also sweeten the pot. Let's say like some people probably aren't going to be down with this, so I'm going to add an extra 50 cents in. I'm going to spend 2 of my population, and I'm going to submit this to the group to vote on. Oh, we can collect some population. Oh man, my loader's blowing up here. Yeah, I built this in like a couple of weeks, so it's okay. So we can see that it's in the sleeping period. You can only submit so many proposals at once to a Moloch DAO. It's basically the Moloch DAO exactly, except for the rage quit mechanic is a little bit different, and obviously the times are a lot faster. and once it's voted in, it either brings in a mechanic or it doesn't. Instead of deploying capital, it's used to bring in mechanics to the game. So we could see that this jabroni, that's me, brought in this item here, and 50 cents. So we're gonna vote yes for that. So I just clicked on that. It didn't bring anything up. That's definitely a bug. I need to make it so it's really easy to kind of like inspect what this proposal is, because like someone can bring in a smart contract and that smart contract can have full access to the game state. So I could bring in like a market right now where I could just like go spend some gold to buy some steak, and that's just a smart contract that was deployed, like just like a little market emoji, right? So it's meant to be very open-ended and very malleable and easy for anybody to add new rules to. And the whole point is kind of like reaching the victory condition, but having fun along the way, but really like experimenting with governance, experimenting with economic situations. Like what if we had like a harbinger tax on a house or something like that? What if we had like some I was thinking the other day about a really cool like 310 to Yuma scenario with a desert where there's like a train that moves across, and then like the houses that are next to the train can kind of trade with it along the way. Like you can really come up with like any kind of situation to put into the DAOG and play with it. And so it's supposed to be, oh, we could rage quit right now if we want, which isn't how rage quit normally works. So rage quit in the Moloch DAO is like if you voted no on things and you don't like how it's going, you can pull your remaining funds out. The way it works here is you can leave the game if the game's not going the way you want, and you can pull out some percent of the amount you bought in with. So I'm going to process this, and we should see a growable be created up here. Yeah, all right, so now we have this growable. It's planted on nothing. It grows into grains, and it costs us 3, so we need to have some green field to be discovered here. So back to the rage quit. So if you can tell everyone's like kind of ganging up on you, and there's no way you're going to win this, and you bought in for $5, you can like rage quit for like 350 pretty quickly. But the longer you're in and the more yes votes you make, I'm going to make it so it's not totally set up yet, but I'm going to make it so kind of your percent goes down. But there are also chances that like things can get completely locked up in the game, because like some things can be voted in. You can vote, you can take an emoji and you can vote on top of emoji, so you can always replace things. But there are situations where I do end up getting stuck and I just need to eject. And there needs to be some mechanic for all of us to rage quit in a way where it's some kind of like assurance that like all of us rage quit at once and we get an even cut and something like that. I don't know. Still working on it. Okay, so we've got this nice open green field. We want to plant. So I'm going to spend 3 of my population. I'm going to throw that seedling down. All right. Now go collect these guys. I could be like exploring like crazy. It's pretty cool because when you see this on a global map, you see all these people like interacting and doing really cool things. It's kind of boring just single player, but I'm just kind of showing off the mechanics at first. If you want to play with this, I think we're going to play this afternoon on the Gitcoin live stream. Today, Gitcoin live stream. I'll put a link in the tweet. Okay, so now our thing is ready to grow into this emoji. So what I'm worried about is that emoji is not anything. Yeah, so even though this cow can be built on, wait, can I click on this? Oh no. I think that needs to be, okay, so I think you have to actually have this as an emoji too, which means we'll just make it a discoverable. Let's say you could find it 2% of the time, and you're not going to earn anything from it. Let's just deploy this and see what happens. I think it needs to be like as you make something that generates something, you have to have a mechanic in there. Let's see what happens here. I kind of thought this would already work. I kind of thought the cow should just be able to be built on this emoji, but since this emoji doesn't exist as a mechanic, I think maybe it's having a hard time with it. Let's see. So yeah, we could be discovering, we could be building more tents, generating more population, but basically everyone's racing to get to this victory condition and also kind of politicking with other players. We definitely need like a troll box down at the bottom right so everybody could be chatting about stuff. Let's see, let's do a little bit more discovering. What we need to do is just get some dang steak. It's proof of stake. I'm thinking that bringing in this crane as an emoji is going to unlock the ability to build, because this thing says it's built on that emoji. Let's see what happens here. At this point, I'm just kind of like clicking around, waiting for the governance to come through, waiting for the proposal, the vote to go through. So we voted yes. It's in there's 2 rounds left of voting, and then there's like the grace period where someone can rage quit. Let's see, what else is there to talk about? So each of these emojis is just a smart contract. If we want to go look at, say, the buildable emoji, so the buildable is a collectible and it's also an object. But we can see that it has just like this cost array and influence, and we can see like what happens when someone runs build on it. Same thing with the DAOG. Basically, it's like a proxy that happens. So we don't keep all the there's this execute call and this full-on proxy. We don't keep all of the game logic within the DAOG contract. It's kind of just like to hold state and to hold some of the game contract is what holds most of the state, and that's this here. And so there's a different DAOG contract deployed for each one. Okay, so now there's a discoverable. There we go, it did it. Okay, cool. Okay, so what we needed to do was create some kind of, and we could have set this to 1, so there's like a no chance you couldn't find it, but for this to be like an interactable object, it needs to be an object in the top up there. I should probably just change that, so we'll call that a bug. We'll call it a bug. All right, so now we're allowed to spend 2 of our population to build some cows on top of this grain. Oh, dang, boo! We're about to get that steak. Okay, so now our cow is generating, and we can keep exploring. We can plant some more stuff. We got more population than we need. We just gotta, now it's a race to get to that cow. Oh yeah, here it is. Bam, collect that steak. Ooh, we should see it show up over here in our inventory. It meets the victory condition, and we hit victory. So that we finished the game. We just won. So now let's check this out. Real cool page here. Recap, stats about the game. Yeah, it needs some work. Like I said, I built this in a few weeks. I got to go jump on some other projects now, so I'm kind of launching this, and I'll come back to it when I get going. But you have 350 here. So this is my balance, and this is how much money was in the pot to win. So watch what happens when I hit collect here. I'm not going to get all of the funds back. I'm going to get a very close amount, but a small slice of it, 492, so 8 cents. Where'd that 8 cents go? So the 8 cents is divided up evenly between all of the owners of the mechanics that were deployed. So the guy who wrote the cow contract, or the buildable, the collectible, the person who writes these primitive smart contracts gets paid a cut every time they're used within the game. So you're incentivized as a developer to create cool mechanics to add into the game, and then you're kind of paid back for putting that time in. So we're done. Good game, GG. Okay, so let's do, just to kind of demonstrate that we can do a completely different game, let's do kind of we'll do space this time, and we're going to call it Aliens, and we'll buy in for just 50 cents this time. So, game mechanics. We know that our utility emoji is lightning, which we will represent. Oh, whoa! What are you doing? What happened there? Lightning. Okay, there we go. And that's like power, right? So we're in space. We're gonna have satellites and stuff, but the little like they're representative. They're not actual game graphics. They're representative, right? So the little lightning bolt represents power, right? So let's deploy that. Oh, I've already got it right up there. I should have just stole one that was already deployed. Sorry, Igor. I'm throwing unnecessary contracts out on your network. Let's see. And so what is this? This is a buildable. It's built on an empty thing. It has an influence of 11, which means the squares that you see. It costs 5 pieces of power to build, and then you get, I think it's the same thing. you get 6 every 3 blocks. So you're generating power from your satellite. Okay, let's add that in. And then let's do something else. Let's do a discovery thing where basically we're racing to find something. Let's race to find a like a spaceship or something. I'm pretty sure there's a UFO, right? Yeah, boom. All right, so the goal is to find, and this is a discoverable, and just to make it not go super slow, maybe 24% of the time. So like a quarter of the time you're going to find those, and for some reason we'll make it generate aliens, but it doesn't need to. Basically, we'll make this the victory. We'll make discovering it the victory condition, but it generates an alien every 6 blocks for some reason. Cool. All right, here we go. So deploying our UFO. Actually, let's make the alien the victory condition. That's more fun. So let's bring him in. It does take quite a bit of time to set up a game, but like, I mean, we're talking smart contracts here. We're doing some crazy stuff. Okay, bringing in alien inventory. Okay, and the victory condition will be 1 alien. Okay, and we could change the Moloch. Maybe we want the Moloch period to only be 5 seconds. We're not even really going to use the Moloch this time. This is going to be a race to find an alien. But normally what you want to do is make this much more difficult. Make some victory condition that's kind of unknown from your beginning mechanics, and then invite a whole bunch of people in and have them all buy in with like $5, and then play toward that victory and have the Moloch be very instrumental in bringing in new rules. Here I'm just kind of demonstrating. So deployed the Moloch, deployed the DAOG, sacrificing, checking the BT. Ooh. All right, here we go. Jumping in the game. So you'll see this is a space game. The background is going to be a different color, right? So in Greenfield, it was kind of like this green background. The goal of this is just to show that you could do some very different things. I'm still doing kind of this exploration thing. Like normally you could set it up so like you could have a chessboard technically, right? And you could hit discover once and it just discovers the entire chessboard. The point of that is deploying it costs a lot of gas, and then discovering costs a lot of gas, so you kind of have to do it in 2 separate moves. But basically, you could discover an entire chessboard with all the pieces ready to go, and each piece could be like a movable item that has the rules set that if it's like your turn. Okay, here we go. So first thing we're going to do is build our first satellite. We'll see we've got 10 electricity. It's going to cost us 5 electricity to build our satellite. Ooh, there it is. All right, now we're going to go exploring. Now, 1 out of 4 times we're going to find an alien, and it's a race to find we're going to find a UFO. It's a race to find a UFO, and then that UFO would generate an alien, and we'll win because the victory condition is an alien. And so we basically just need to keep collecting this electricity and keep exploring. And this game is definitely for like crypto-initiated people, right? I kind of have these 2 game designs in my head. One of them is like mass adoption, get everybody in, meta transactions, very human things. The other one is like this. Like this is like almost like fantasy football for crypto nerds, right? Like you can buy in, you can participate in a DAO, you can test out these new things that are up and coming. As Amin said, it's like the year of the DAO, so why not, let the DAOs out? Here we go. All right, what else? What else do I have in my notes here? I think identity is huge here, right? So with each game that you play, with each action you take, there's a history contract, and it's kind of like recorded in the history contract. So you can kind of build up this identity of who you are within the game, and it's important to. Oh, we found out UFO! All right, here we go. So 6 more blocks from now. What is that, 30 seconds? 30 seconds, we're going to have that victory. So it's important to create a narrative behind an account and create connections with other people, but also like maybe we wire in the humanity DAO. Maybe we wire in your Peepeth account. There's got to be these attestations for who you are so we can figure out what what identity, like what this bottom-up identity looks like. Like, what is your DAOG identity, and how do you prove that you are human? So then when you get into another game with a bunch of other people, you can kind of like trust that you're playing with humans and only bring humans into your game. So it's not like a whole bot army fighting you. But I mean, like AVSA said about good games, we have to embrace bots. So I think that there probably will be some bot action going on in here. All right. Boom, boom, boom. Victory. We got our alien. All right. Sweet. Cool. I think that's basically it for the DAOG. Let's play live stream this afternoon. It's kind of massive multiplayer, so it's a lot of fun. I'll get a bunch of accounts with some tokens in them and hand them out. Thank you. Thanks for checking it out. It's fun to let the DAOG out. Thanks for playing. Oh, I didn't even collect my money. What a J Brown. All right. Thank you, everyone. Happy Bowtie Friday. Thanks for participating. Thanks for checking it out. It's DAOG.io. Go. This desert one doesn't work yet. It's only greenfield and space right now. Yeah. Go play the DAOG. Make some mechanics. Thank you. Bye. Happy Bowtie Friday.